and drawing loads of interest, whereas gradual declines and dips tell the algorithm the complete opposite. So if you want YouTube's algorithm to pick up your video and push toward multiple parts of your video that are keeping a large majority of your viewers watching, meaning they're not skipping that part, they're not leaving the video at that part, and that part of your video is hooking them and keeping them watching, which is not only going to tell you this, it's also going to tell the algorithm this. This is a major warning to YouTube's algorithm that a certain part of your video is keeping people watching and needs to be given to more people. So depending on what is happening in your video at that specific time of the content, you may want to make notes on things you can double down on or things you can repeat within other future videos to have even more continuous segments on future uploads. So then you have what is called gradual declines, which according to YouTube is one of the most common ones you will see. And basically what this tells you is that from the beginning to the end of your video, the retention is slowly declining. So basically you have 100% retention at the beginning of your video, and then over the course of the video, it gradually declines and drops off. And the main reason for that being that it is extremely rare and almost impossible to have every single viewer watch the entire 100% of your video. So on most people's channels and most people's analytics, you will see a gradual decline on most of their videos. So on most people's channels and most people's videos, you will see a gradual decline on most of their videos, and it's not the most concerning. What you do want to be a lot more concerned with, and the third component you may see, is what is called dips, which indicates to you certain parts of your video that either has a lot of people skipping that part of the video or leaving the video altogether. And both of these things are really going to cut into your retention and your average view duration, because this basically does the opposite of what you want to have, and it tells YouTube's algorithm that this video is not keeping people watching and this video is not really worth pushing out on YouTube. So if you look at your video analytics and see a lot of dips in your retention, you definitely want to make notes on what is happening at those specific parts of your video that has people either skipping it or leaving the video altogether, so that when you make and upload future videos on your channel, you can avoid these at all costs and have a much better retention. And then on the complete other side of the spectrum, you have what is called spikes, which indicates to the algorithm that certain parts of your video are drawing a lot more interest than others. You could, for example, have a spike if at a certain point in your video, a lot of people are either skipping to that part or rewatching that part. So if, for example, you're doing a 30-day ab challenge and a lot of people want to skip to the before and after or the result, you will likely see a spike at that portion of the video. For example, on the experimental channel I had where I uploaded my experimental video, there was a large spike at a particular part of the fan video because that was a scene that a lot of fans love and wanted to rewatch. And if you have any kind of spikes in your audience retention graph, you most definitely want to make notes of it and what is happening at those points of the video, because spikes are a massive indicator to YouTube that not only is this video keeping people watching, but it does include a part of the video that a lot of people are rewatching or skipping to that has a lot of people interested. So now that you understand all four of these different components of your audience retention graph, now that we fully understand continuous segments, gradual declines, dips, and spikes, now the question is, which ones are most important to the algorithm and the future growth of your video to help you gain watch time, and which ones are more detrimental to your video that are going to rob you of watch time? So what it really comes down to is you want to have as many continuous segments and spikes as possible and as little gradual declines and dips as possible, because the first two indicate to YouTube that your videos are hooking people and keeping people watching and drawing loads of interest, whereas gradual declines and dips tell the algorithm the complete opposite. So if you want YouTube's algorithm to pick up your video and push out your video and get you more views and watch time so much faster, these are things you really want to stay on top of and monitor in your analytics, and things you really want to ensure that you are gaining and not gaining. You want to have as many continuous segments and spikes as possible and as little gradual declines and dips as possible. So definitely much more important than having a 50% retention or 20% or 30%. It is much more important the actual breakdown of your retention graph and how many continuous segments and spikes you have versus how many dips and gradual declines you have in your reports. So these are things you definitely want to be staying on top of and monitoring in your analytics to make sure that your videos are sending the algorithm the right type of signals and not the bad kind. And if you guys want any more tips and advice on how to gain watch time so much faster, then be sure to check out these videos on my channel for more tips and advice. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I love you all to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for new coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs. Now, you're watching this video probably because you're interested in learning exactly how I batch create my YouTube videos. Specifically, how I'm going to batch create 3 months worth of videos for July, August, and September in 2 weeks only. So if you're interested in learning why I'm doing this and how I'm going to do this, then keep on watching. All right, so let me first explain the why. Vanessa, why are you crazy enough to batch create 3 months worth of content in only 2 weeks? Well, the reason why is because I have a lot on my plate this summer. I've got a lot of exciting projects that I'm working on. Plus, my video editor, Elena, is going to be taking all of September off because she's getting married. That's why it's really important for me to front load all of my YouTube work in advance so that I'm not chasing my tail week after week doing content when in fact I should really be focusing on doing my projects instead. And by batch creating all of my content in advance, it's going to allow me to secure the fact that I will be consistent on my YouTube channel. One thing that I really hate is not being consistent here because I've promised you guys that week after week I would be teaching you and giving you value. So in order for me to keep my promise, batching my content in advance, knowing that I have a busy schedule ahead, is top priority. Now, with that quick explanation of why I'm doing this out of the way, let me first tell you exactly what you're going to get from this video. The first thing that you're going to learn is how exactly I planned out my schedule for my batch creation. The second thing is how exactly I came up with all the content ideas in less than 2 hours. And last but not least, I'm also going to demonstrate the entire workflow that I use in order to keep myself organized throughout this challenge that I've given myself. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. All right, so the #1 thing that I started doing when thinking about this challenge was reverse engineering the result. And what I mean by this is that if I already know that I need 3 months worth of content, it's really important for me to reverse engineer that and figure out exactly how many specific videos that I need. So in my case, I know that I need 3 months worth of content. And in 3 months, there are 12 weeks. And for my upload schedule, I post 2 videos a week. Meaning, if you multiply 12 weeks by 2 videos, I'm going to need 24 content pieces. Now, the next step is me looking at my schedule and understanding how urgent it is for me to finish up all 24 videos, and also being realistic on how many videos I can technically film per day. Now, in my particular case, creating these 24 videos is quite urgent. And the reason for this is because all the other projects that I have planned outside of YouTube is going to require a lot of attention from me. And therefore, the sooner that I can create these 24 videos, the sooner I can dedicate 100% of myself to my other projects. Now, in your case, you're really going to need to evaluate how urgent it is to have these content pieces and realistically when you'd like to start. For me, today is, I believe, June 28th, and I'm starting this project right now. And ideally, because of the urgency in place, I would love to finish all 24 videos by mid-July. Now that I have this timeline in place on when I would love to finish up this project, I now have to take a step back and be realistic. Really ask myself, based on my capabilities, my capacity, and also my behaviors in the past, how many videos can I really fit in one sitting? And for me, it's 2 videos. Now for you, it might be completely different. Your capacity might be different than mine. You might only be able to finish 1 video in 1 sitting, and that is absolutely okay. What I'm trying to get at here is you really want to be realistic with this. You cannot expect yourself to go from filming 1 video a day to suddenly filming 5 videos in 1 sitting. It's simply a recipe for disaster. Now at this point in the video, we've really crunched some numbers here. We now understand how many total videos that we're going to need. In my case, it's 24 videos. We've also set a deadline. In my case, ideally, I would love to finish by mid-July. And lastly, we've also set the expectation that you're going to be able, or I'm going to be able to film 2 videos in 1 sitting. Again, your numbers are going to be completely different. Now, the next step is to actually create a plan, to actually schedule all of these things that we discussed. Because you know what they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's why I'm going to share my screen and show you my project management tool, Asana, and how I'm going to make it all happen. All right, so right now we are in my project management tool called Asana, and it is absolutely free. Now, obviously, you can upgrade and pay premium. I actually have a premium account, but everything that I'm showing you can easily do with a free account as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new project. I'm going to click blank project, and then I'm going to call this the YouTube Master Schedule. Now, depending whether or not you want to do a list or a board, it doesn't really matter at this stage. So what you want to do is just create the project. Now, once you've created the project, you want to go straight to calendar. So when you are on this page, you're going to be able to see everything from a calendar standpoint. Now, I did mention that I'm going to start creating my content on June 28th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on June 28th, and then I'm going to type film YouTube videos 2 out of 24. Now, you might be wondering, why did I put 2 out of 24? The reason why is because I've already told you that my max capacity generally is only 2 videos a sitting. And the reason for this is based on how my schedule works. I have a lot of client meetings. I have a lot of other things besides YouTube that I do. So I'm only really willing to dedicate 2 videos per day. And the reason why I'm putting 24 is because I know I need 24 videos in total. So knowing this, I'm going to keep repeating this process up until I get a total of 24 videos. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to know the exact date of when I should expect my batching to be finished. Now, on top of this, I'm someone who wants to make sure I at least take breaks. I don't expect myself to be doing videos every single day. So for me personally, I'm going to be taking Saturdays off. When you're doing your schedule, you really want to ask yourself what exactly is realistic to you. And again, like I mentioned earlier on in this video, what is the urgency and what is truly realistic. So I'm going to fast forward this process, but you're going to be able to see what I'm going to do. All right, guys, so as you can see, while I'm plotting all of these things, it's telling me that I'm going to be finishing up my batching schedule around July 11th, which is awesome because that was the deadline that I set for myself. I wanted to finish my batching right before July 15th, which is mid-July. So in your case, it's obviously going to depend on how many breaks you want to take, what is realistic for you, but I like to plot it down on a calendar in Asana in order for me to visually see the exact deadline. Now, obviously, some of you guys might be wondering, Vanessa, how come you just don't use Google Calendar or iMac Calendar or all these things? You can absolutely use a calendar system, but later on in this video, I'm going to show you more things within Asana. So that's why I encourage you to kind of keep it in one place. Now, what you're going to see is that there's one thing of knowing how many videos that you need to film a day, but it's another when you actually allocate the time, the minutes, the hours of how long this project will actually take you day by day. So as you're crunching the timeline using any calendar tool or using Asana like I do, you're going to need to actually factor in the times, not just the days, but the actual time, so it's truly scheduled within your calendar. That's why the next step that you want to factor in is understanding how long it takes you realistically to film one video. In my case, filming a video alone takes me max 3 hours. And if I'm going to film 2 videos a day, it's going to take me 6 hours of filming. So I'm going to need to factor in that time and how it's going to match my daily schedule. So for me, knowing that it's going to take 6 hours, and generally after 12 p.m. I have other meetings going on, I have other things within my business that I need to handle, I now know that my mornings are going to be reserved for YouTube filming only. And I'm going to protect that time by ensuring boundaries are being set, that no other meetings are being slotted before 12, and I'm actually going to put it in my calendar that I need to be filming videos around 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Again, for you guys, it's going to be completely different. You might not start filming until after 12 p.m. You don't have to film it in the morning. However, I do recommend that you film videos back to back. And the reason why is because after you film a video, you generally have a video high. You're already filming, you're already in the groove, and that's why the second video that you film is going to be a lot easier. Even this video, this is the second video that I'm filming today, and I feel a lot more confident, a lot more into it than I was the video I was filming before. So I really recommend this. All right, so by now you've probably established your schedule. Now it's actually time for us to plan the content. Now, in my case, the day that I scheduled out my plan was the same day that I planned my content calendar. Now, for you guys, you might want to have one day reserved for scheduling and then the other day reserved for content planning. But in my case, I put them together in the same day. Now, when I say content planning, I don't necessarily mean scripting out the entire video. All I mean is actually creating a content calendar so you know that each day is reserved for what topic in your video. Now, for me, my entire YouTube workflow from scheduling to content ideas to scripting to all of that is all in Asana. So let me share my screen again, show you my Asana project management tool, and walk you through step by step how I plan my content, how I source my content, and how I piece it all together so that all my videos within my YouTube channel tell a cohesive story. All right, so right now we are back in Asana, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. Now we're going to create a blank project, and I'm going to call it YouTube content. And here, instead of creating a list, you're then going to create a board. Then you're going to click create project. Now within this project, what you're going to do is you're going to create a brand new column. And in this column, I'm going to call it content ideas. And what you're going to do is you're going to create new content ideas within this column. So for me, I need to have 24 content pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brainstorm 24 unique individual content pieces and put it within this column. Now, this is what it should look like after you've brainstormed all of your content pieces. You should have the amount of content that you need within this one column. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, Vanessa, I'm stuck. How do I find content ideas? Well, first of all, I want you to check out this video that I have right here, where I show you step-by-step all the tools and research tactics that I use in order to find content ideas. And secondly, I want to share with you something that I do within my community. Periodically, what I'll do is I'll actually post a story with a question poll asking my audience directly what content pieces they want to see from me. So when I was thinking about all the content pieces that I needed to create for this particular challenge that I set for myself, I actually went back and looked at all the answers that you guys gave me when I asked. Not only this, I also, as you can see, screenshotted a lot of the comments that I get on my YouTube channel as well, so that I know where the question is coming from and why exactly I picked that content piece. Also, maybe in the video, I might need to leverage these screenshots as something to put in the video, so on and so forth. So I like to attach images within my key cards. So let me show you a close-up. One content idea that I had was how to know if a potential client is the right fit. So when I click on this key card, you can then see that there is an attachment. And when you click on the attachment, I now can see where this question came from. And it actually came from my YouTube channel. So like I said earlier, if I were to do video, maybe I'll put the screenshot in the video as well. I just wanted to make sure that I kept track of it. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, how do I do this? How do I attach images to my key cards? It's really easy. All you need to do is use Asana Mobile. And on mobile, you're able to screenshot, add pictures. You can also do it on desktop, but most of the time I usually just add the pictures through mobile. So as you can see at this point in the video, I've already brain dumped over 24 content ideas. And I did this in around less than 2 hours. And what it really helps is polling your audience, making that a habit. But if you do get stuck, it is totally normal that this takes the whole day. But I do highly recommend that you at least schedule the time to do this in one sitting. Now let's go back to the video. Now at the moment, what you saw recently was me brain dumping all the content ideas that I got from you guys. Now it's time for me to take it a step further and organize it even more. Let's go back into my Asana again so I can show you step by step how I further organize it so that it's clear for me and also clear for my team. For example, my video editor and also my assistant, who needs to be in the loop on what my exact plan is. All right, so now we're back into our Asana, and what we're going to do is we're going to add more columns. Specifically for me, we're going to add in July, August, and September. I'm going to add a column called July, a column called August, and then a column called September. Now that I have all 3 columns, it's now time for me to sift through all of my content ideas and start putting it in the appropriate months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at every single piece of content and see which one will go into July. And on top of that, what the sequence would be. As I mentioned before in this video right here, where I talk about how I script my videos and how I strategically organize my videos in order to increase my watch time, I generally like my videos to tell a certain story. For example, let's say the video that I have planned is how I organize my content creation for YouTube. Knowing this, I know a lot of content creators probably struggle with time management. So my next video is probably going to be productivity hacks for busy entrepreneurs. Now, after this video where we talk all about productivity hacks, maybe something that I'll talk about is how to land brand deals and secure sponsorships. And the reason for this is because I know the video that I have planned for the productivity is actually a sponsored video. And so that's why it makes sense for me to do a video all about sponsorships. Now, let's say after I do the video about sponsorships, I'll look at maybe this video right here where I talk about when is the right time to sell to your audience, because I know a lot of people who do sponsorships, they kind of get a little bit awkward about when is the right time to sell to their audience. So I think that this would be a really great video to do afterwards. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm creating a story. And the reason why is because, as you notice with all of my videos, especially if you aren't new to my channel, I'm always teasing the next video. So I want to make sure that my videos make sense. And if I'm going to plan everything in advance, I'm going to actually take the time to comb through all of my content ideas and not only figure out what month I'm going to be doing the video in, but also the sequence. So what you're going to do is you're going to do this for all of July, August, and September. And after you've done that, you're now going to assign the publishing dates. So when you actually hover over the key cards, you're going to be able to click on the calendar and figure out what day you actually want to post this video. Now, in this case, this video right here is supposed to be posted on July 7th, which is today. And then the next video is going to be posted on July 10th. And then I keep going down the rabbit hole. And once you're done doing this, it's going to look something like this. So as you can see here, I've already done all of July, August, and September. And all of my videos are already assigned the appropriate dates where I'm thinking of. Hey guys, what is that? Welcome back to my channel. If you have been paying attention to my last few videos, I've been talking about audience retention rate and why it's so important to keep your audience watching your videos for as long as possible. And if you really want to improve your audience retention rate, you really need to make your videos as interesting as possible, as well as learn why they are leaving your videos. So in this video today, I want to share some tips and some tricks with you guys, some things that honestly you may not even notice that I do in every single YouTube video, just to keep you interested and keep watching. So if you're ready for this video, let's go ahead and go on the computer. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is my analytics. Of course, we're always going to take a look at the analytics. There are two things that I want to take a look at, and I want you guys to do this alongside with me so that you can better understand what you're doing right within your videos and maybe where you can improve your videos to keep people watching them for even longer. So right within your analytics page right here, I'm just going to go ahead and click on see more. Now, if you haven't really kind of dove into the advanced settings within YouTube Analytics, you may not have known that this is even possible. But right up here, you can do views by video. I'm going to click on this drop down, and there's actually an option for more metrics. For me, my suggested metric is average view duration, and that is exactly what we want to look at. So I'm going to click on that, and now the first option right here is the average view duration, meaning how long people are actually watching these videos on average. So you can take a look at these videos and see what ones are really performing. So this video right here, understand YouTube algorithm as a small YouTuber, that is a 6-minute average view duration, so that's actually pretty good. And here's another one that's over 6 minutes, and it's advice for new YouTubers answering your most asked questions. So those two have got a pretty high view duration. People are watching it for a lot longer. So compared to, let's see, like this 414, how I edit my YouTube videos using iMovie, clearly that didn't keep people engaged for as long as I would have liked them to. Now, what you can do with these stats is just compare and contrast and see what videos are actually keeping people interested for longer. And it could be the topic for the video, or I know that one of them, my advice for new YouTubers, that was more of a Q&A style. So if answering you guys' questions and having you actually engage more so with the video and really kind of create the video, it's revolving around you guys, that kept you interested for longer. So if I notice that there's some kind of similarity that's actually keeping people watching my videos, I am more likely to create those kinds of videos because I know it's just going to help my average view duration across my channel in general. And then the second thing you want to take a look at, I would do this for your most popular videos right now. So what ones are generating you the most views? You want to take a look at where people are actually dropping off the videos. So in order to do that, you want to go to your videos over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to click on views so that it is sorted by views. And we've already taken a look at this video right here, how long it takes to get monetized on YouTube. So let's jump to this 2 million monthly viewers on Pinterest video. Over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on analytics. And then what you can do, this section right here shows you your audience retention. Now, this is just the average view duration, this 355. And basically what that means is all of the viewers watching this YouTube video, what is the average spot that people are dropping off? I like to pay attention to this because I will watch it for about 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after this average view duration and see, okay, what is going on in this 30-second chunk and why are people leaving? And it could be something silly, like I included a transition that people didn't like, or maybe I included a sound effect and people absolutely hated it, or it could just be that my video was honestly boring and that's the part that they're laughing at. So I like to pay attention to this average view duration right here, but you can always click on this see more option, and this graph is actually going to show you where people are dropping off. So right here, 65% audience retention rate, and then it drops down to 59%. So I'm losing about 5% there. It's like 5.5%. So that may be a good area to take a look at to see why are people leaving. And the cool thing about this is that you can actually see your video appear and watch it right away to see what is going on and why you're actually losing those viewers.
And you can do this all the way through, especially if you are losing like a big chunk. I noticed at the beginning, 0 to 7 seconds, I'm losing people, and it could just be the way I'm talking, like that personality. That I really can't control, but there are other things within your editing style as well as the way that you are shooting your videos that you could change, tweak to make your videos a little bit better so that people keep watching them. When it comes to making your videos as interesting as possible, I think a lot of people associate it with the editing, and I'm not going to lie, the editing plays a big part within it, but to me, I think really the foundation is laid within your filming. If you shoot a whole YouTube video where you're sitting right here and you're just talking the whole entire time, that is going to be a more boring video compared to someone that jumps around and gets different scenes and actually shows you what they're doing, which actually brings me to a couple of the first tips that I want to share with you guys. So the very first one, you may notice that I do this within just about every single one of my videos. I jump scenes and I move the camera position, even if it's just a little bit, because that adds a bit more interest. I personally do not like the videos where someone is sitting in one spot the whole entire time and just talking to you. I find that boring. So to add a little bit of interest, I try to jump around my house where I think it is appropriate. So I shot the intro scene in my living room. It's a bit more personal with me actually holding my camera compared to when I am showing you something on my computer. I want to be sitting at my desk so you feel like you're right there beside me. Then I'm actually showing you a tutorial and you're getting it one-on-one with me. The next tip that I have for you guys is to actually show your audience what you're doing. I already said this, but if I'm sitting here the whole time talking to you and I'm trying to explain how to do something within the analytics platform, you aren't going to really understand what I'm talking about. It's going to be a lot harder for you to try to navigate it on your own. So when I'm trying to show you something like how I get access to certain analytics, I will actually do a screen recording of it and I will include it in my YouTube video. Now, I've gotten a couple of questions about how I record my screen. I have got an iMac desktop computer and I actually just use QuickTime because it comes for free. It's very easy to do, as well as it can get the sound. Although most of the time I do not use the sound because I want to get the sound that is coming from my camera. But if you are curious or if you want to create your own screen recordings and incorporate it within your YouTube videos, that's how I do that. Now, let's say that doesn't relate to you at all. It wouldn't make sense if you have screen recordings over your videos. There are other things that you can do. Let's say you're a vlogger. And instead of telling your audience that you're either going to the gym or making brownies, show them what you are doing.
They just don't like mess. You don't like people.
This is going to make the biggest difference in your YouTube videos compared to you just talking to the camera the whole entire time. Adding a little bit of B-roll or just scenes over you talking even is going to take your video up a notch. And it's not that hard to get a few little clips, even if you are making brownies. Show your ingredients, show you mixing it, show you putting it in the oven. Those little details are actually going to keep people interested. The next tip I have for you guys is something that I do before I shoot every single one of my YouTube videos. I create a plan. Every single time I write down my ideas, where I want to shoot the scene, exactly what I'm going to be talking about, if I need screen captures or overlays to include within the video, I create a plan ahead of time. And the reason why I do this is so that I'm not just pulling out my camera and rambling forever and ever, trying to cover what I think I want to talk about, but I'm just not really sure. And at the end of my YouTube video, if I do shoot it that way, I feel like it's never good. It's never good quality. So I create a plan before every single one of my YouTube videos. And if you guys want to watch a video of me talking about how I map out my videos, or what I do when I'm creating my plan, you guys can go ahead and click right here and check out that video. I will also include it in the description bar down below. And I'm not going to lie, I just used one of my tips right there, and you guys may notice that I do this all the time, but I try to talk to you guys, not at you guys. And it can be kind of hard, honestly. It can be hard. You're talking to a camera. It seems a little weird. This is not a natural thing to do, but you want to make sure that you understand your audience. And honestly, responding to comments, getting to know your audience is going to be one of the easiest ways for you to understand exactly who you're talking to so you can engage with them properly. You guys may notice that in my YouTube videos, I say just click right here. When it comes to a YouTube video that I am mentioning, I do that for a reason. I want my YouTube videos to be as interactive as possible so you guys feel included in them. As well as, this is a sneaky little trick that I like to do sometimes, I will tell you at the beginning of the video that you have to stick around to the end because something is going to happen. Like either I'm doing a giveaway, I've done that before, or even in just the last video, I had you guys vote on what video was going to be coming next, which is exactly why I am shooting this video, because you guys wanted to see this one first. So if you tell your audience from the very beginning, make sure you stick around, and then I'm going to share something at the end that you don't want to miss. More people are likely to watch your videos the whole way through, and they just feel a bit more of a connection from you as well if you treat them as an actual person that is on the other side of the screen. I'm telling you, the littlest thing, but it makes a big difference. But really, that's just the filming stuff. So what can you do within your editing to make your videos as interesting as possible? And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I think it all comes down to your editing style, your preference, and the videos that you like to watch and what you want to create. You know, Emma Chamberlain, she's really just blown up over the past year and a half. Me personally, that editing style would not make any sense for my YouTube videos, and I really don't enjoy watching videos with that editing style. I like Emma Chamberlain for her personality. I think she's funny as heck, but I don't really enjoy that editing style. So what I want you guys to do is pay attention to the YouTube videos or the creators that you can watch over and over and over again because you love the editing style, or even if you just love the personality of the creator. That is going to help you determine what you actually like and what you want to incorporate within your YouTube videos. But some simple tips that I can give you guys. The first one is that sound effects are actually your best friend. You guys may have noticed that I use a little clicking sound or I use the popping sound whenever I am showing something on my screen. There's a reason for that. We are in the day and age where people like to listen to things. So I know that some of my audience is only listening to my YouTube videos. They may not be watching them. And I still want them to take a look at the screen and encourage them to jump back, focus their eyes on my YouTube video. And I do that by telling them when there is something different on the screen or a different pop-up that they may want to see. So I do use sound effects, and honestly, that can make a pretty big difference in your YouTube videos, as well as break up your video with visuals or things that are actually going to enhance what you are saying. And you guys probably noticed that I do this just all the friggin' time, but I will never include a scene within my YouTube video where it's just me talking for 3+ minutes straight without anything else popping up on the screen. I will not do that because it's not engaging for you guys. So even if you're just saying something so simple as thank you guys for 7,000 subscribers, because seriously, 7,000 subscribers, I can't believe you guys. I'm going to pop up something on the screen that shows that I do have those 7,000 subscribers, because it not only backs up what I'm saying and kind of makes the point, but it just makes it a bit more interesting. How many times can I say interesting in this video? Someone please count and let me know in the comment section down below, because I think that would be hilarious. But I do incorporate those pop-ups, those screen recordings, like I've already said. But if I notice that I'm sitting in one spot too long, I have got two go-tos that I like to do. The first one, I will incorporate a screen that just has text over it that kind of enhances or pulls out the main bullet point that I am talking about at that point in the YouTube video. And you guys notice that I do that already. But the second thing that I do, I like to bring you guys into the YouTube video and make you feel involved. So I will pop out some of your YouTube comments that you have left on my channel. So if I say I've gotten questions about this, I will pop up a comment proving that yes, I have gotten comments about that, but then you guys really like it because you are part of my YouTube video. So I really do enjoy doing that, but I would say if you're sitting in one spot for way too long, I like to think 3 minutes is way too long to be in one spot. It's way too boring. People are going to leave. Try to make your videos interesting with the visuals that you pop up, because it will make a difference. But that is it with this YouTube video. I hope you guys liked it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you hit a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. I do upload new videos every 3 days, so if there is another YouTube-related YouTube video you would like to see here on my channel, please let me know in the comment section down below. As well as if you guys have any tips or tricks that you use within your YouTube videos to make them as interesting as possible, please let us know in the comment section down below, because you could help someone else out. But that is it with this video. I'll see you guys back here soon. Bye, guys. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I am honestly so excited for this video because I'm good information that I think you guys are gonna. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you have been paying attention to my last few videos, I've been talking about audience.
This girl is a snake. And this girl is a snake. This girl a snake. This lady been doing. What this lady been saying and doing, it does matter. Words are important. Don't take that lightly. Your words is what's bringing out of you, because your words are important.
If you want YouTube growth, it's important to use a strategy that works. You have to play within YouTube's rulebook in order to find success with lasting results. That's where Tooth Karma comes in. Tooth Karma offers a unique mother-child method of account growth that isn't available In today's video, I'm sharing with you guys my top tips on how to get your channel to the point of gaining 100 subscribers or more every single day on YouTube. This is how I got my channel to go from these analytics in July 2019 to these analytics in July 2020. So if you guys want to see how I was able to achieve this and how you can do this for yourself on your channels, then just keep on watching. And if you guys want to see any more YouTube growth tips, tricks, methods, and strategies from me in the future, then be sure to subscribe down below, turn on my post notifications so you never miss another upload. And now let's jump right into the video. So my first tip is one I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at, but it is to upload super consistently. It is a well-known fact that when channels on YouTube are super active and uploading very actively and consistently, YouTube tends to reward them by actually pushing out their videos and helping them grow further. At which point your videos get pushed out further, get more exposure, get more views, and more potential subscribers. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but when I was still in school, I was barely able to upload even once every 2 weeks, and my channel growth was slow as a snail. Now that I'm doing YouTube full time and I'm able to upload multiple times throughout the week, I am seeing way more views, way more subscribers, and way more overall channel growth. However, I do know that a lot of you guys are in school or have full-time jobs or families to take care of, and not everybody has the time to dedicate to a YouTube channel. In which case, I definitely 10 on 10 recommend you watch my video on how to be consistent on YouTube, because in that video, I shared all of my top tips on how I cut down my editing and filming time to be able to get out way more videos much faster. But definitely, if you want to get to the point where YouTube is consistently pushing out every one of your videos, getting you more views and more subscribers, being active on your channel and uploading consistently is one of the best ways to do it. My next secret I use on my channel is my secret formula for titles that get clicks. The very best way to grow super fast on YouTube is turning views into subscribers. But of course, to make that happen, you have to be getting views on your videos. In which case, you have to make it so that when people see your videos on the recommended page or in search or in suggested, your videos catch their eye and make them want to click onto it. So the formula I use for each one of my titles goes a little something like this. Keyword to get clicks, space, keyword to rank in search. Now, keyword to get clicks, a lot of people would call clickbait. However, I don't really consider it to be clickbait if you're actually giving your viewers what you promise to give them. So I could totally title my video How to Grow on YouTube, or I could switch that out and say something more eye-catching like How I Gained 11,000 Subscribers in 1 month. Same way as how somebody else's title could be My Weight Loss Journey, or swap it out for something like How I Lost 60 Pounds in Less Than a Year. So for me, using this title format is all about looking at your main target keyword of the idea of your video and finding more creative ways of titling your video that's actually going to entice people to click onto your video. And then, as I said, the second keyword in my video is much less for clicks and views, but more so to actually rank in search. So that while half of your title is getting clicks from the home page or the suggested page, the other half of your title is helping you to rank your video in search and get more views faster, which is all part of SEO, which I will get more into further in this video. My next tip is one that has been changing the game for me lately, and that is to tell people what they're subscribing to. So I don't think I've ever watched a video on YouTube where somebody didn't say, subscribe for more videos, or hit that subscribe button down below. However, most people don't tell you what you're subscribing to. So notice how in every one of my intros I always say, if you want to see more videos on how to grow a successful YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe down below. Because not only am I asking you to subscribe to me, but I'm also telling you what you're going to get if you subscribe to me. Because if I'm getting views from non-subscribers who know nothing about my channel, for all they know, this is a random video I'm making about YouTube growth, and the rest of my channel is about cooking or hiking or vlogging. So if I tell my new viewers and non-subscribers what my channel is about and what content they're going to get from me by subscribing to me, there's a much higher chance that if they like the content they see in this video, they're going to actually want to subscribe to me. That way, they don't have to go onto my channel to see what my channel is all about, because I tell them, and all they have to do is hit that button down below under the video and subscribe for more. And looking at the analytics of my last few videos, I have definitely been getting way more subscribers from each individual video than I used to. Now, maybe this isn't the only reason why, but it is definitely something that helps your viewers know what your channel is about and what they are potentially subscribing to. So that is one more thing I definitely suggest. My next tip is all about comments. Now, I go onto so many of my subscribers' channels when they ask me to check them out, and one of the things I see very consistently are people's videos with loads of comments on them, but the comments haven't been liked or hearted or replied to or even acknowledged. Now, when you see comments on your video, there's no way of knowing which one of these comments are actually subscribed to you or which ones are newer viewers. And if this is a first-time viewer of yours that goes onto your channel, takes the time to leave you a heartfelt comment, but you don't even acknowledge it, chances are they're not going to feel a whole lot special or worth anything to you, and they may just move on and not subscribe to you. Whereas if this person has never been to your channel before, they leave you a nice comment and then go about their day, and later in the day get a notification from YouTube that you've actually taken the time to mark their comment and actually respond to them. That way, it brings them back onto your video. They feel a lot more seen, a lot more noticed, and actually connected to you, and they're much more likely to actually want to subscribe. So don't just reply to all your comments saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Try to actually build a connection with them, a relationship, get them talking and into a conversation. That is how you actually build a bond with people, make them feel connected to you, and less than just a number on a screen. That is one of the top things a lot of you guys tell me that stands out to you about me. But unlike a lot of other YouTubers, I take the time to answer my DMs, reply to comments, get to know you guys on live streams, and according to a lot of you guys, that's what made a lot of you guys actually feel compelled to subscribe to me. So if it worked for me, chances are it's going to work for some of you guys too. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I actually get noticed by my favorite YouTubers, I kind of feel special. So maybe your subscribers and viewers want to feel the same thing. My next tip is one that is so overlooked, and that is intentional, valuable live streams. Now, I have to give credit where it is due for this idea. I initially got this idea from my friend Jennifer, who has a tarot channel, as well as my friend Nick Niven, who has another YouTube growth channel. So basically, my friend Jennifer was telling me that on her channel, she does these weekly live streams where she gives live tarot readings. So people who are not already subscribed to her and who have never seen her channel before see that she is giving live tarot readings on their recommended page. They go onto her live stream from the recommended page, and a lot of the times she actually gains more subscribers from her live streams than her actual videos. Which again goes sort of back into what I said from the last point, and live streams are much easier to help you connect your audience than videos are. Now Nick Niven does something very similar on his channel, where a few times a week he does these live streams where he gives live YouTube growth advice. Now, I started doing this every so often on my channel, and I can definitely tell you, when my live stream titles are "Come hang out with me" or "Let's chat," I gain maybe like 2 or 3 subscribers. When I do live streams giving away YouTube advice or growth advice, I sometimes get hundreds of subscribers off of one live stream. Now, those are not existing subscribers. These people have never seen my channel before, but because they saw my live stream on their recommended page and saw, if I watch this live stream, I may potentially actually get YouTube growth advice. That entices them to come onto my live stream. They actually get something out of it. And again, it's much easier with a live stream than a video for me to actually draw them in, build a connection with them, and actually compel them to want to subscribe to me. Other examples of this are those like 24-hour music channels, where people can literally just turn on those like 24-hour study music channels while they're studying, or those other channel called like Royal Tab something or other, where they basically made this 24-hour live stream during the pandemic, where they basically had a live counter of how many cases of coronavirus every country had. And this live stream ran 24/7 every single day of the week. And within just a few weeks, I saw this channel go from 0 subscribers to over 400,000 subscribers. So if you have any ideas or concepts for any sort of a 24-hour live stream or a super enticing and valuable live stream, 10 on 10 recommend. It is game changing. Now, my next tip is kind of a throwback and something I did myself when I was first trying to grow my channel and get it up off the ground, and that is to comment on bigger YouTubers' channels. So big YouTubers like Alicia Marie or Mr. Beast or David Dobrik get hundreds of thousands of views in just a few hours, not to mention thousands upon thousands of comments. People literally just jump on these videos and go straight down to the comment section. So if your comment is at the very top of the comment section, you're going to potentially get a lot of exposure and a lot of eyeballs on your channel. And trying to get your comment to the top is like being one of the first ones to comment, as well as getting a lot of thumbs up on your comment. Now, you do want to be careful with this. If you are that person who comments on bigger YouTubers' channels saying, by the way, I'm a small YouTuber, hey, come check out my channel, not only is that really annoying and kind of really disrespectful to the creator, but also the only people you're going to be drawing onto your channel are sub for subbers, who are people who are going to subscribe to you and never actually watch your video. So you want to be a little bit more creative with your comments and try to make them actually related to the video so that it not only gets views, YouTube actually gets attention and makes people actually want to thumbs up your comment and boost it. One time I did this, I actually got my comment pinned on Cole and Sal's channel, and I gained like 1,000 subscribers in one day. So that is one more tip I definitely suggest you do if you want to get more external exposure to your channel. And then my final tip is one of the ones that has worked the best for me, and it is to rank every single one of your videos in search. So I have made 100 million videos on my channel all about SEO and ranking in search, which you can totally feel free to watch. I have a whole playlist dedicated to videos about SEO. But essentially, SEO is ranking your videos in search, so whenever somebody searches up something on YouTube, your video comes up as a search and you get views from that search and even potentially subscribers. Now, having one video ranked in search may or may not actually help you, but because I have almost 100 videos on my channel and all 97 of these videos are ranked in search currently, all these videos are getting views consistently all day long. If you look at my top 10 videos on my channel in the last month, meaning of July, my top 10 videos are videos from yesterday, last week, 6 months ago, a year ago, and videos I uploaded way long ago but that are still getting views on my channel because they're ranked in search and getting views all day long as people search these things up on YouTube. So definitely one of the best ways to get views very quickly and subscribers very quickly as a new YouTuber is to learn how to rank your videos in search and get views from search rankings. So that, you guys, is it for all of my tricks on how to get your channel to the point of gaining 100 subscribers or more every single day. This is how I got my channel from those analytics in July 2019 to these analytics in July 2020. So hopefully at least one of these tips can.
They tell you that sin is
Hey,
powerful.
what's up, you guys?
And
It's
eternal
Annie. Welcome back to my channel, where I help you turn your YouTube channel into
in a
a
perfect
success.
world,
And in this video,
where
I'm
justice
sharing
always
it on July
reigns.
7th, which is today, and then the next video is going to be posted on July 10th. And then I keep going down the rabbit hole. And once you're done doing this, it's gonna look something like this. So as you can see here, I've already done all of July, August,
In a
and
perfect world.
when
In
I
a
started my
perfect
business in
world.
2011, I chose Wix, and it was really because the aesthetic that Wix brought to my brand really elevated my brand. I do advertisements through Wix to Instagram and to Facebook, which in turn bring me lots of new customers as well as tabs on my existing customers. I also use Wix email marketing platform very often. It's a great way to drive sales. So what's my goal for the future? To keep growing.
Justice always reigns.
Let's talk about easy, like fee-free and no minimums. Plus, it earns interest, like possibly getting paid up to 2 days sooner. With a network of over 70,000 fee-free ATMs, and it only takes about 5 minutes to open an account.
That's doing evil. When justice always reigns. In a perfect world. In a perfect world. Where there's no sin, no sickness, no disease, none of it. No pain, no sorrow. No pain, no sorrow.
So I post on
Where
Instagram
there's no
almost
pain and no
every single day.
sorrow.
Ever since I started tracking my analytics on Instagram and social media in general, I found a direct correlation with the amount of posts that I do and the amount of posts that I get. I concluded that the more that I post, the more visibility I get on social media. Not only this, when I was tracking my analytics, and by the way, I have this video that kind of sums up all of my findings, I also observed that every time I had an Instagram reel that was implemented, it also contributed more. And so with all of those findings, I decided that I was going to post on Instagram nearly every single day. My post schedule is Sundays, Fridays, and Saturdays is kind of my only day off because based on my analytics, I know that most of my followers aren't really on Instagram on Saturdays anyway. But even with that post schedule, most of you guys might be asking, well, Vanessa, how do you keep this up? I know that some people, even though they have a
Perfect world. In a perfect world. Where justice always reigns. Where justice always reigns.
Hi, my name is Vanessa, and one thing
Where there's no oppression, no sickness, none of it.
In today's video, let's talk about
Hey, they miss. Hey, they miss. Why you let them out?
Let's go over how I come up with content on
How you letting this fool
how I
back
adapt
up in
my
here?
content, and how I also
How you
schedule my
letting this
content
fool
so that
back
you,
up in
the
here?
viewer or follower,
Lock
you're
him
able
up.
to get
Lock him
amazing
up.
content from me every single day. So with that being said, let's dive right into the video.
Fuck the world. But
All
they
right,
ain't
so
got
let's
none
talk
of
about
this
step
mess
one,
going.
which is
But they
getting
ain't got none of
content
that.
inspiration. Now, what I find is that there are three ways
Always
that I get most
brains
of my content from.
in a
First one is
perfect
through
world.
education, is through expanding my knowledge, is through actually doing
In a
things with my
perfect
business
world.
and keeping track of the little ideas that I have that kind of come up as I get more into
And they
it.
ain't got
So
that. They
for
ain't
instance,
had
if
that
I'm
mess
running
up
into
there.
a problem with my business, I'm definitely going to write about it. Or if I notice problems within my clients inside the Boss Man Academy, my program, I also learn about it. I am really avid on documenting my journey and making sure that I keep track of the lessons that I've been learning throughout this process of building this business. And so what I do is every time I have an idea, I pull out my trusty notepad and I write it down. Now my notepad is kind of a disorganized mess, but what I've learned in the past is that it's better to write down your content ideas as they come to you versus trying to sit down and think of all the content ideas that you need to that. So for instance, if I'm having dinner and all of a sudden a content idea comes up, I'm gonna pull out my notepad and write it down, and then I'll organize it. So this is the number one way that I get my content from, is from my own experience, and also books, podcasts, even listening to music can also inspire content ideas as well. Now the second way that I get content ideas is something that maybe you have never even thought of, and that is looking at my past content. This tip is going to be really relevant for those of you who have been doing content for a while. Something that I do is I look at my old captions that I've written, and I kind of see how I can repurpose those captions. For instance, this is a caption that I wrote, and then this is a post that I wrote a year later copying the exact caption. Or what I might do is take one-liners from my captions and then turn them into standalone content. You'll be really surprised by the amount of past content that you've done that truly needs to be resurfaced, because your audience members don't always remember your previous content, and especially if you are trying to grow your platform, you're going to be having new subscribers, new followers every single day that have never seen your old content before. And so remember this, good content is good content. It doesn't matter if you posted something a year ago, 2 years ago. If you knew that it performed 2 years ago or a year ago, definitely try to make it into new content piece or just repurpose it all together. This is where a good chunk of my content ideas actually come from, and that's from my previous content that I've done months ago and even years ago. And here's the fun fact. The content that I repurposed that I posted years ago actually performs better now than they did the first time that I posted it. And so you definitely want to come back on your previous content and see how you can repurpose it for the future. Now the third way that I like to get content ideas is from TikTok. And the reason why is because I have an Instagram reel strategy where we post IG reels every single week. And so for me, I'm on TikTok anyways as a consumer. I love the platform. I'm on it every single night. And so in the meantime, if I see a content piece that I think could apply to my business, or I see a trending sound that we really need to my business, what I'll end up doing is I'll print the video, I'll have it in my like videos within TikTok, and to take it a step further, I'll actually copy the link to that TikTok, put it in my notepad, and also put a note to myself on what type of content I might want to create with that specific sound or that specific effect from that TikTok video. Now that we talked about on how I get content, now the next thing is to batch the content for Instagram. Now the thing with Instagram is that it's very recency based, and especially with an IG reel strategy, it's kind of important to still stick to some of the trends. And so I make sure I don't batch content too much next week. Versus when I use the strategy on my podcast strategy, I usually batch content about a quarter in advance, 90 days in advance. Now when it comes to batching content for Instagram, I have a slightly different frequency of batching than I do with YouTube and podcasts. Now because YouTube and podcasts are so labor intensive, meaning that it takes a lot of my effort to film videos or record podcast episodes and coordinate guest experts and all that stuff, I batch my content about 90 days in advance. Versus on Instagram, I batch about 3 days in advance. And so what that looks like is once a month, I go onto my desktop and I review my notepad. So I look at all of the breakups that I've had on my notepad and kind of pick and choose which ones I actually want to post on Instagram for that month. So what you'll notice on my Instagram feed is I do a lot of quotable moments. Here, what I do is I'll look through my notepad, look at all my own captions, and kind of see which pieces I want to share. What I'll then do is I'll go on my Twitter page and I'll just post the content. This is where I kind of get that screenshot to make content from. I'll then mass post all of the one-liners and two-liners that I want to have on graphics, put Then I'll screenshot all of these and then upload them to my desktop, in which I then move on to Canva, and then I create those posts directly on Canva. Other types of posts that I like to create are posts like this, where it's a carousel post with a lot of text. And the reason why I like to do this content is because sometimes I find that the caption I write might be too long and can be better served as a carousel, but also for readability, I find that I get more engagement on the carousel post than I do with posts that just have a long caption.
Yeah, you just put on some music.
Versus when you break up your caption into carousel like this, the first slide, if it already took some, they're going to keep reading. And so that's why I am a huge fan of creating carousel. So what I'll then do is format the caption on my notepad and then go onto my cell phone, and then that's where
Oh, yeah, now you just putting on some
create
music.
a screenshot, I'll then go
And you just
so
doing
again,
fashion
4
thing.
by 5 dimensions for each slide and then each. Then I just schedule that as a carousel. And we'll talk about scheduling carousels in the next video. Now the third common content that I do is Instagram Reels. Now my Instagram Reel strategy is basically documenting in this video right here. So definitely check it out if you want more in-depth step-by-step instructions. But essentially what I do is all of my Instagram Reels are filmed on TikTok because I'm also trying to grow my TikTok account as well. So I'll take 1 day or 2 days to then batch all of the IT reels that I originally had planned in my notepad. And on those 2 days, I'll make sure to change out my outfit. So not all of the TikToks look like I filmed all in one day. So that's kind of what I do when it comes to IT reels.